Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I got some, I would say, bad news for most of us, and that is how much money we have in general as a country, talking about United States of America, and how our personal saving accounts and savings have fallen off a cliff actually. This article comes from Market Watch, and it is from today, October 26, 2022. And I am quoting reading the title. Americans' personal savings have fallen off a cliff. Brace yourselves for just how much they have declined. All right, let's see. The personal savings of Americans have plunged this year, hitting $629 billion in the second quarter of 2022. I don't know what that is. Big, it's a lot, it's not, but they're going to tell us. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, that's down from 1.98 trillion in the second quarter of 2021 and 4.85 trillion in the second quarter of 2020. Wow! So from 2020 it was 4.8 trillion. In 2021 it was 1.98, so 2 trillion. And now it's 629 billion. My God. Boosted by COVID-related government cash, but it's also down from 1.41 trillion in the second quarter of 2019 before the pandemic. So we had, before the pandemic, 1.41 trillion. In 2020, with the money given, printed, imagine how much was printed. We have 4.8 trillion. In 2021, we have 1.98 trillion, and now we have 629 billion. So 629, 198, 485, 141 trillion here. In fact, the personal saving rate, meaning personal savings as a percentage of disposable income or the share of income left after paying taxes and spending money, fell to 3.5% in August, according to Bureau of Economic Analysis. Wow, so in fact, personal saving rate, 3.5%. Unbelievable. So, let's see. It's quite a U-turn. The personal saving rate recently peaked at 26.3% in March. So now it's 3.5. So in March it was 26.3%. I'm sorry, in March 2021 I was like, how in the hell it felt like that? A year ago in March it was 26.3% and 33.8% in April 2020. But these are artificial numbers, obviously. Why? Because the United States got money, handouts from those guys that were printing money, you know. So that's the reason why is this big difference. I would like to know how much it was in 2020. Oh, right here it says in January 2020, before the coronavirus pandemic, it was 9.1. So the real, I would say, is 9.1. Then now it's 3.5, and during the pandemic was 26 and 33. So the reality is it fell 60%. Unbelievable. Now it says that credit card debt rose to $887 billion in the second quarter of 2022, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. That's up 13% on the year, the largest annual increase in 20 years. So you use the plastic, pam, 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 pam. Okay. The pandemic has left people in vulnerable state. On the other hand, stimulus checks led to a record decline in the number of American households without a bank account last year. The number of unbanked households fell to 5.9 million last year from 7.1 million in 2019. On the other hand, America's ability to pay bills on time fell for the first time in 5 years, according to one recent report. A recent Bankrate survey found that just 27% of people have 6 months worth of expenses saved. So if right now something happens, you got only 27, let's say 30% of Americans have 6 months worth of expenses saved. Whew. Now, it says economists say it's not all doom and gloom. All right. There are opportunities to boost savings. With 3.5% unemployment in September, I don't believe that. These guys do not count the ones that the people who were unemployed and are not looking for jobs. Those are out of this. So if you add that, probably is about 9, I would say. And how do I know that? Go to the grocery store, go to whatever store and business you have, and I guarantee you that huge majority of these businesses that you're gonna find, they are short-staffed. And when they ask what's going on here, this is the answer. People don't want to work. And I wonder why. How they survive? Because you work and they take your taxes and give it to the ones that don't work. Robin Hood. There you have it. Oh, it's not like that? Okay, I thought not bad. So, what's more, it says, what's more, the U.S. added 263,000 jobs in September. Are there governmental jobs? Because those should not be counted because they don't produce taxes. The real economy is in the private sector, not in that. But anyway, these guys lumped it together. They got what, like 90,000 in IRS. Remember? 91,000 new employees in IRS. You subtract that from 263 and you got to what? 100 and whatever it is, 172,000. That's what it is. So, and it says that, and while the rise in average hourly earnings over the past year slowed to 5% in September from 5.2 in August, it's still one of the fastest increases since the early 1980s. Yeah, but inflation is about 30% and you got an increase of 5%. So instead of going and playing soccer and losing to 10-0, you lost 10-1. Yeah, man, we won 1. Yeah, they got 10. Great. So he says, but most economists' predictions, a recession is not expected to arrive until next year. So you party until next year, okay? Promise. Americans who are struggling to pay for rent, utilities, and groceries. Of advice. Ready? Prioritize paying off high interest debt. Keep track of spending, whether you use credit or debit cards or cash, and look for a non-profit organization like the National Foundation for Credit Counseling over for-profit debt settlement companies. So, good or not good? I think it's good for some and bad for the most of us. So, yeah, and what should we do? They say that if the leaders do not increase your standard of living, you should change them. So go and vote, and oh my God. Anyway, do whatever you want, guys. You're on your own. not like I tell you what to do, but it's go and vote. Yeah, like that's gonna change a lot. See you next time. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.